I need to get that. Okay, so we're gonna call the meeting to order. It's 12:37. And, can I have a roll call, please? Ms. Bianca Brewster,
Present.
Natalie Lewis,
Here.
Mary Bender, myself, I'm here, Dr. Marty Reyes, Liaison and Ex Director, Assistant Director, Ms. Lauren Bluestone. Who else is here? Okay, because I'm thinking, could you do the,
Esmeralda Martinez from District 1.
oh, yeah, okay. Ms. Esmeralda Martinez? So we got Miriam Jocelyn Ayala,
Absent.
Mario Perez.
Absent.
We have a vacancy still in District 5, okay. Angela Tita's here. Sandra Solis,
Absent.
and, okay, so we have a quorum. Dr. Richard Chamberlain is not here. Okay, so we do have a quorum. Okay, and we have one public comment today, this afternoon, and it's Ms. Laura Reina. Is she here?
Yes, we're here.
Okay, Ms. Reina, thank you for coming, and you can go ahead and state your comment.
Okay, 3 minutes is not enough, so I'm not even gonna attempt to, I have my notes and stuff, but I asked what is the purpose of this, this is new to me. I just happen to be fostering right now on my own for stray cats, but it's a long story. She knows my story, that, it's hard.
When you say she was, oh, okay,
Yeah.
right there.
From the, I don't know, anyway, there is a problem, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't mind helping, I don't mind donating, but the issue is too big, and it's a city issue. And I don't know what we can do to fix it, because it's not gonna get better from what I see. I just found out that I could get fined because I feed stray cats, and that's alarming to me. That's very upsetting, because not too long ago, we had that Freedom Ranch thing, and I'm like, okay, so how, it's just unbalanced. So we need to do something, and I told her, like, I know a lot of people that are animal lovers, so believe me, it's I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to turn. I don't know how to fix the problem, because my neighbors are already getting on me, because I'm not gonna stop feeding the cats. But it does create problems for the neighbors, and I understand, but who do you sacrifice? The animals can't do anything for themselves. They can just go hunting for food everywhere, right? Humans can control themselves, but they don't. So it's a deep issue, and I don't know how to handle it. I know it's affecting me because I care, and it's very stressful. And sometimes I have to calm myself down because it's very stressful. And animals are little, they're I don't know, they're just helpless. And I'm not going to let it go, and maybe they should arrest me, and maybe it'll bring an issue. I'm a school teacher. I retired after 43 years, and I'm sure the whole entire city will say, Mrs. Reina, what? She got arrested for feeding the kittens? That's just like her, because I do a lot of charity work. So it's like, I don't know, maybe that is a good idea. I don't know, to bring awareness. But I get sick over it. So I think I'm in the right place, because I think, if you can fix problems, that would be great.
Sure. Well, thank you for your comments this afternoon, ma'am. I'm sure if you haven't reached out to the animal shelter for legal advice, maybe we can direct the assistant director to meet with you soon, after the meeting, or pretty soon.
They have been very helpful, the girls that I deal with
great
when
to
I
hear.
go. Nothing but, they do help, but it's a big problem.
Great. Well, thank you. Any comments?
I am definitely not gonna sit here and deny that there's an overpopulation of cats and dogs in the city. Like, that would be silly for me to do so. There is kind of two different issues that we have going on here. We, as an agency, do not go out and seek out to cite individuals for feeding cats and dogs. Because, again, I'm on the same page with you that, you know, they are helpless and they need, I don't think there's anybody in here that doesn't know that I absolutely 100% support that. However, I also have to support the ordinance. The ordinance has a portion in there where it says nuisance feeding. It's not coming from our officers, it's coming from the neighbors. So once the neighbors sound to our office, that's when we go out to kind of investigate and stuff like that. What I would say is we have worked with homeowners to do feeding on like a little different areas that aren't as open to the public, a little bit more discreet. We have talked to neighbors about certain things that they can put up deterrents in their yards so that it's less of an issue for them. If it's less of an issue for them, we don't get called to go and investigate and you can continue feeding. We also do TNR surgeries at our shelter. The wait list has gone down tremendously. We normally do 1 or 2 days a week where we strictly focus on TNRs. We also bring in veterinarians when they're available from other parts of the state to come in. And one day they'll focus on shelter animals, the next day it's TNVR. There's no cost. It's just.
I've already done that.
Okay. Keep doing that, because obviously population, if they know that there's a source of feeding, you're just gonna get more cats. You get more cats, you get more babies. So if we can get that minimized from the start, we'll go ahead and put you on the list to at least have some element of a population control, even though Laredo, that's almost nearly impossible.
So how often do you have those, the surgeries?
Our once or twice a week are full days for TNVRs.
Okay, so I still have the 4 that I'm fostering and the 1 that I haven't been able to trap. So if I trap them, can I take them and you hold them until you have the surgery and then I pick them up and then release them?
That's not how it normally works. If we can
That's what I need
squeeze
to
you
know. Can
in,
you clarify that?
because here's the thing. If we hold the cats, the chances are, because we have such, it's kind of like, you're a teacher, it's kind of like kids coming into a classroom, right? In the beginning, there's so many germs, because we have so many kids coming from different locations all at one time, right? So the chances of them getting some type of upper respiratory infection, higher the stress level, cats are just prone to upper respiratory infections, right? It's any shelter that you go, like that's a thing. The longer we hold them, the higher probability they are to get sick. If they get sick, we cannot release them. They're not appropriate to release out into a TNVR because they're not going to be able to thrive outside. That's the whole reason and purpose behind it. Okay, we'll tell you we have these slots open, start trapping right now, bring them in on this day, and we'll be able to get them done. If we can look at the list.
Can you do that?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what we'll do.
Because if I know the schedule, okay,
Yes,
I can start, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you call and say, hey, I have 4 cats, like we can start for the ones that you have and like that are fostering. We can say, all right, so we can get you in. We have surgeries this day. You can bring them in. I think it's the day before, but they'll tell you, and then pick them up the very next day. It also again or the same day.
Oh, when they're ready.
Yeah. That way they're not at the shelter because of disease control at the shelter. And obviously you can't release a sick cat back out into that's not appropriate. But that's kind of, yeah.
I really love that's actually awesome. But especially with the overpopulation right now we have, is there a way that we can try to remove that ordinance right now to avoid issues?
Which ordinance?
About feeding the strays that we've been wanting to remove, especially right now, temporarily the issue that is.
Here's what I will tell you about that, and he could probably speak a little bit more towards that. Your city is divided. So while we in this room think that it's great because we're animal lovers, you're gonna have a percentage of the city who is extremely against it. So it's going to end up being council's decision on who's vocalizing to the point where, you know, we can certainly talk about putting it up in front of council, but I will tell you, and this isn't my personal opinion, okay, so just, but you will have a number of people from the population who will fight that tooth and nail. If we're ready for that fight, that's fine.
How long has the ordinance been,
Way before my time.
Yeah.
Way
Which
before
is
my
how
time.
many years?
It's just, things have changed, so I think it's about time, especially to,
I
for
believe you're
people to
right.
not,
Oh,
there's
So-
other important things for cops or.
well, maybe not with
do
the
and
other side's
where
turn
things
to,
like
you know,
this.
that they've had that ordinance, now it's the other side.
So how about this? How about we look at this and then next meeting, if you guys can kind of do research on, is there something that also, is there ordinances out there that say responsible feeding? Because if you have something that can be in place for responsible feeding, you have a justification for removing that way it's safer for neighbors. Because that's what you're gonna get.
How about compassionate feeding, because that's really what it is.
I know, but.
You have to do it at
neighbors-
night, nobody looking and taking you. That's what I do. I feed at night because I have complaints with my neighbor across the street. By catching 2 dogs, they destroy the Halloween decorations and they blame me. So I said, okay, if I want to catch those stray dogs, I need to keep feeding them to gain trust.
It can go.
So I have to move the feed.
It
all
can
the
go
way down.
hand in hand, like, you know, you're feeding them responsibly, but you're also in conjunction with services, and you're trapping them and having them fixed, you know?
And again, I think all of that is great. I'm just prepping you guys for when you put up an ordinance and you're taking something away, such as nuisance feeding, like how to prepare for something like that to actually go through, is we've got to modify it to justify versus just taking it away to kind of calm the opposition. And you can tell me I'm totally wrong, or.
Yeah, no, that is very true. So I think we should, as a committee member, do good research on this, and then we can apply it through legal, and then we can, if we feel that legal feels also and languages it where it can be possible for council and for mayor and for the governing body to make a decision with any, like the oppositions, and then we'll put it to the table.
Again, I'm not opposed, that's less work for my officers to do, so,
Yeah.
like, not opposed at all, but,
Right.
but yeah, at the same time, it's like, you're gonna have an issue.
Councilmember, if I may.
Sure.
So it's not these things that we talk about, they're not arrestable. You never get arrested for this.
Yeah, I should have said that.
Fine,
So
you get fined,
it's a
right?
fine,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
I was
no,
already warned with that, you're gonna get fined. I'm like,
there's no need to touch it, it already exists. And thank you for, Health Department here for opening up the conversation earlier about it. So you're protected and you're feeding a communal cat. It already exists in the ordinance. Now, you don't have to touch it, it's there. The problem is you have to be.
They don't, the cats themselves protect it.
Let's
You
let
get
him
most of
finish.
them, they get away.
I'm trying to follow.
There's a
Let's
community
finish.
cat feeding ordinance, but you have to register a colony.
Yeah.
So, there's an established vehicle there that you can do it responsibly, but the key word is responsibleness here.
And who defines responsible?
Well, we're all reasonable human beings, right? We have to be considerate of those around us. Just because we're passionate about something doesn't mean that gives us the right to disregard people around us. We live in a community, so we have to be respectful of each other. And like Ms. Bluestone said, fortunately in the city, there's 2 opposing views. One very against what you're trying to do, and obviously some very passionate what you're trying to do. Does that mean we can't coexist? No, we've done it for thousands of years. So what you're trying to do, if you follow the law, you do it right, with proper guidance, you can do it. But always keep that balance, because cats are like cops. You feed us and we never get rid of us.
Well, of course, because they know,
Right,
the
so you have
last
to be
person they're gonna
careful,
be there.
you're opening up a can of worms, right? So you have to be real careful, but with the right guidance, there's a vehicle there, you can do it, you don't have to touch the law. You just have to work with whatever's there.
But again, it's like the neighbors, like,
As long as you're following the law, then you don't have to worry about the neighbors, right? So,
and they can complain all they want. is that
well,
what
if
you're
you're
saying?
following the law and you're being responsible about it,
So they can take you to court. The neighbors can take you to court.
That's what I'm saying, so.
right, so again,
But
On
then
that
you
same
can-
ordinance,
For
Um,
nuisance feeding, they
for,
can
for
be
not
a-
having a colony registered?
it boils down to nuisance feeding.
How many is it, what is the colony, what's the number of a colony, like,
You can have 3 or 4 and consider that.
that's a colony?
right, but,
That's not very
We
many.
got like 20, 30
right,
cats.
so.
I mean,
If you start doing that, you're gonna get unwanted attention. So it's all about balancing things.
Well, we have a cat that, like, recently we have a cat that's a mean
I
cat.
don't think anybody's gonna worry about a cat. I think once we
No,
start
but he was
creating
coming
problems-
into our, like, into the little colony, whatever, but we would shoo it away. But it's a mean cat. And sometimes they turn mean because they're looking for food and it's like, they're predators, like,
And
it's
that's
mine,
the
you
problem
know?
when you're working with animals, especially
Yeah.
stray wild
That's
animals.
the risk.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting,
They have their
so
own network.
we have to be careful with these things. And not just can set and forget.
Maybe
like,
you have
I
to
can
set
do
up
this, yes
a-
or no, you
We
constantly have
did,
to be
we tracked
responsible
it.
about it.
Okay, we're gonna move forward, make sure if we want to, place an item, get with one of your community members so we can further discuss this. I hope your questions were answered.
Yes,
so
not with
far.
him, he answered my question, but like now they're more open and they can like fix them and, like, get me on a schedule. Once they're fixed, I'm okay with it, but like, I'm worried because I don't want more cats. But now that he said it, they do it very often, now I know, like.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Approval for minutes? May I have a motion for approval of minutes? Second? All right. Any against? Motion carries. All right, so we're gonna move to discussion, possible actions, LPD animal cruelty training and protocols. To request an update on current animal cruelty and neglect training, overview of reporting and auditing protocols of related calls. All right.
Does your agenda says October the 29th?
was it, wait a minute.
I know, right, no,
looking
it's-
at-
Yeah, I'm like, we already discussed all this. Let me see, here you go, Bill.
No, this is the minutes, this is the.
July 3rd.
It's the same one.
Okay, got it. Okay, yes, sorry about that. All right, so we're gonna have the approval for minutes, for July 30th, 2025. Can I have, do I have a motion? Second? Anybody against? Motion passes. Number 5, discussion and possible action. Letter A, review of how the city of Laredo and Webb County will work together on animal cruelty cases through the task force. Okay, so who put this item? Ms. Martinez. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I think we need to revisit the task force.
Yeah.
Yes, so a couple of months ago, the conversation came up, oh, by the way, Ricardo Gonzalez, Assistant Chief, or the Police Department for the record, came up, some years back, we had a formal MOU with all the entities that work together in investigating animal cruelty cases. That has since changed, especially through COVID. A lot of things were kind of put into pause. That was one of the things that was affected. Since then, a lot of participants of that MOU or people involved in that project has since moved on. I think every single person in that, to include the mayor and the city councilman that was in charge of that. So, overseeing that. So one of the recommendations was, yes, it worked, it was very productive, we were efficient, effective with it, but we needed to come back, obviously create a fresh MOU, revisit. There were some recommendations of things to add and so forth. So that was the last conversation, Councilman.
have you guys picked who's gonna be in that task force? That's where I wanna know, like.
Our recommendation is to keep the same entities that were on there. So you have the DA's office, the county attorney's office, of course, LAX, which pretty much a lot of these things center around the Lower Police Department, because most of the cases involved us, the Webb County Sheriff's Department. I believe there were some constables in there, but they really don't do criminal investigations, but we shouldn't shut the door on anybody, the more the merrier, right? One of the recommendations was to include our, the state, the wildlife department. We have a lot of cases where they might not be cruelty cases, but they're issues concerning animals, wild animals. We've had cases with mountain lions. We have a lot of complaints with feral hogs, you name it. Working with them together in that task force, not only do we limit ourselves in working criminal complaints or criminal cruelty cases, but anything that has to do with animals, we combine resources and we use that force multiplier to be able to address issues with animals to what is the best interest of the community.
So are we gonna do some type of, like they did it last time when it started, so people can know that it's back up, and so they can be, I think that as long as the city knows that we're back and really taking animal cruelty seriously, it might make people think twice before they do stuff.
So in practice, we already have that in play. Whenever Animal Care Services runs into a case that's complicated in nature outside of just civil or ordinance violations, we get involved. Vice versa, whenever we're encountered with a complaint, when we need their services to come in and take care of that part of the investigation that come in, all our cases go to the DA's office or county attorney's office, depending who the perpetrator is, and so forth. So that's already in play. What we want to do is formalize it and be transparent. I think that's what's being asked of us. So formalizing the plan would mean that we would come together formally, staff the cases with each other, and then every time that we come here, we can give updates. We don't have to release a lot of details, but we can give you an idea of what we've seen in the last month, the trends, the why and why not. I think that's a big concern from what I picked up from this group and citizens that come in here, is that sometimes they complain of something that's happening out there, and it happens with us. We'll initiate a case that Ms. Blusa and her team will initiate, and they don't see the disposition, and she'll say, hey, you guys never did anything about it. We go back and research, yeah, there's a whole thing, we arrested somebody, but the miscommunication that loop, right? I think that's what's happening, the lack of communication. So formalizing, staffing things, getting more involvement, and ultimately reporting, in this, at least in this particular committee, people know why things are happening. Now, are there gonna be cases where we get complaints and nothing happens out of it? Yes, I'll be the first one to tell you that happens. That's because we didn't reach the threshold to hold somebody accountable on a criminal level. Why is that? Because sometimes we don't have enough to prove that happened, or sometimes there's an explanation beyond a criminal intent. There could be a medical issue, we've seen that, where the dogs might have malnourished, yeah, but there's a long medical history of the dog having cancer and deteriorating, the dog's not eating, you can't force feed it, right? So the family has the dog, the animal, they'll put him to sleep, and it just looks bad on the surface, right? And we've seen that. But of course, we can present on those cases, and people, you all will know exactly what's happening out there, what the trends, who's involved, all these things. So the lack of effort won't be there. Everybody who needs to get involved gets involved, and the disposition is a disposition based on the circumstances of the case. And the case dictates that, not individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Any recommendation, so?
No, I think that this also stems from, and so does B, a very distinct case that occurred. I think that while there's always room for improvement, I do feel like PD and our officers, I feel like it's always improving in terms of whether it be our communication or us working together. but I think there's an element that this is really seeking for Webb County based on the Freedom Ranch dogs as well. And I think that's the A and B is where we're really hitting that. As far as taking, like, as far as B, is that?
Yeah, it's me
Okay.
too.
The city is not, we don't take steps to enforce anything in Webb County. It's not our jurisdiction, like, there's not much we can do. With Webb County, entering into a task force, it's definitely a learning opportunity, and we will absolutely 100% provide knowledge and assistance when it comes to that. But there also has to be guidelines, MOUs through city managers that allows us to go outside the city limits for these cases. And majority of the time, that's no. Because tax dollars
No,
are meant for the city.
and I understand, but now I'm curious because, to be honest, as a teacher, I get my students involved, and Tano Tijerina literally sent me an email back saying that those particular cases is not a county thing, it's a city, so now it feels like, that's why
I mean,
I'm
that's
asking,
more than
city and
welcome.
county needs to work together.
If it's located in Webb County, it is Webb County.
That's what I thought too,
Yes.
so I'm gonna talk
Yes.
to Tano.
Yes.
Being the judge from the county, he sent me an email which I can send and show. He basically says that that's not his responsibility.
So coming together now, sharing information.
That's why
right?
I'm curious,
Uh,
we need to work together.
Even though we might not have jurisdiction, something that's happening outside the city, like a recent case that we saw. So we work closely with the DA's office. The DA's office will be part of it. Guess who has jurisdiction over any and all? The Webb County District
That's what I
Attorney's
thought.
Office. So just having them around on the table and all these things coming out, you'll have representatives there that even if the local law enforcement entity for some reason is not stepping up to it, ultimately the DA's office has ultimate all control, and they can
Okay.
step in just as they did last time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'll have that component of the layers.
Yeah, and I'm part of our city where that you guys work and help that even though it's outside city limits, which I told Mr. Gonzalez that I was a part of our city, what they did. Situations like this, we need to work together because it is both city and county problem, not just one.
It is, but I'm also going to, I'm gonna be like the rain cloud here. The other thing that we have to consider is we do not have the funding to take on the responsibility of Webb County's, a lot of the housing that it comes forth. I mean, there's gotta be a lot of MOUs. I think there was one in place a while ago, but it was only up for 60 grand. Anybody in animal rescue knows 60 grand isn't gonna get you very far at all, right? So, I wanna, not that I wanna be the realist, because it kills me that there are cases out there and animals suffering, but at the same time, like, we do have to make a commitment that if we are going to help in certain aspects, that financially, it's A, not a burden on the taxpayers that pay taxes for the city, but B, we can also accommodate those requests.
Can we work, I've been trying, and Mr. Gonzalez, no, let's see, we can try to work with the county so the county can put some money in to not just, because it seems like the city's doing the whole fixing everything, not the county has not helped. So I'm trying to advocate, I'm gonna try my best how I can get people from the county to help out this problem, not just the city taxpayers.
No, and I mean, again, we certainly appreciate that because we're here based on the taxpayers of the city of Laredo. When I've heard through certain aspects that, well, we just don't have a setup in the county, that does not automatically put us at the forefront of, here's your problem, you fix it because you have a shelter and you have this. Like, no, we'll work together on certain plans of action,
Yeah.
but the ultimate responsibility, it can be shared, but it has to be shared in a
I know.
decent way, is what I'm saying. I'm just throwing that out
I
there.
know.
Trying to maybe with Lalo Uribe and Leroy Medford.
Because maybe the city, they don't have a shelter, we have, but if they can help with the spade and neutering funding part, that would be awesome. It's just basically make the county help out, because that's a problem, they keep on multiplying. They don't have the shelter, but they can help out with the spade and neutering.
Well, and
Portion.
we have GIS mapping set up now. it's in its infancy, so I don't have anything to show just yet. But you can definitely see the hotspots of areas where animals are prevalent, and we're dividing it up into like age groups now, so we can see where like the puppies are coming from versus, and there is a section, and it's either right along the river or right along the county, although there's one little area in the middle downtown area with puppies. But we're trying to track that to see, you know, okay, where are we gonna target, and if we do need to target these areas, say for spay and neuter, yeah, this is Webb County, they're just walking over an invisible line, come on. So seeing if we can't get some help that way, yeah.
So what's gonna happen if Webb County has a big issue with animal cruelty, where those dogs are gonna be?
First of all, they have a big issue with animal cruelty. We have a
Yes.
big issue with animal cruelty.
We see it.
It's not immune from southern Texas. But as far as the actual initiating the case, to bring in divisions like the DA, they have to go forth and identify a problem, which we can help in terms of, this is what you need to identify while you're out there, or this is what it looks like, but I can't do that for you. Like, if you want, we can probably get an MOU where they can borrow an officer to, you know, during the learning process. That's fine, we have no problem with that. But at the end of the day, in order for the DA to get involved, like, hey, your eyes need to be the ones that initiate the report.
This is a state law for the city ordinance that you have to have your animals inside your property, or only it goes like Laredo, like Webb County said, we don't have that ordinance.
The ordinances aren't state laws. So the city of Laredo has specific, they write their own ordinances. They can write it the same as state or stronger than state. It doesn't go lower, but there's not really anything in the state that determines, like, we have a leash law. Webb County probably doesn't have a leash law, which means,
They have a lot of loose dogs.
I mean, if that's something that they're interested
It's a
in,
big issue over there.
we can guide them that direction. But I will also tell you, being in this industry for as long as you don't just want to put up an ordinance without the anticipation of actually enforcing the ordinance. So it has to be all around inclusive in terms of having an ordinance is great, but if you don't have the means or support to actually enforce it, it's not gonna come to fruition.
How are you gonna control the rabies problem in case?
But again, like, I don't, I mean, that's, these are questions that probably on a task force, we can definitely open the door to asking. But I also don't want to speak for Webb County because they're not here to speak for them. So.
Maybe next time.
Hopefully we can contact Lalo Viva and Igor Mendoza. Okay, so moving on to C, consideration of any plans to increase staffing or training for animal control officers. Who placed letter C?
I think that was neutral.
Okay.
There's always consideration to increase staffing.
Yeah.
These guys over here say absolutely not sometimes, although they've been very supportive, so I don't want to say that. But I think this last budget cycle was a little bit of an anomaly that we haven't probably had, where some of the funds, because of a lot of also federal cuts that are happening right now, the increasing staffing for any division in the city, and you can tell me to shut up at any time, it's a little hard right this second. Obviously, this too shall pass at some point, but as far as training, I will tell you that over half are now enrolled in the NACA training, which is National Animal Control Association, so it's not just the Texas certification. Everybody has the Texas certification. It's 8 hours. It's great, but it's not enough. So the NACA 1, I think at least 3 or 4 have NACA 1 under their belt. They're going to work on NACA 2, which is certifying them on a national level. We have to do it in increments because it's like $2,000 for like 10 people to take the one class, but it is a 40-hour class, so it's a lot more intensive than just being certified for the state. That is ongoing. We did have to pause until the next budget cycle, which we just hit, October 1st, to continue and free up the funding to have more classes. They are doing that. They have taken courses from Code 3 and the ASPCA in terms of that, and I have 3 getting certified for cruelty investigators.
How many do we currently have, Ms. Bluestone, and is there any openings?
I think we have one opening left. An ACO2 and a supervisor.
And that would make the total too?
13.
13?
What, 12 with no supervisor, not including the supervisor.
Did we have any success with my directive to management during budget, or to consider? No.
Although I am diligently trying to work with HR to also have an ACO3 position. So it'll be ACO1s, 2 ACO2s, 1 ACO3, and that way we can invest a little bit more and actually keep the officers that we have, so there's growth within the program, and kind of mentor them up the chain. So that's currently happening. So
if they go up, they get paid more and they're more knowledgeable and.
Correct. However, I will also say that the animal control officer training, the one that's by the state, I'm actually having most of the employees do that. I think I just had somebody from the front office, because they're on the phone answering questions for people. So I'm not just limiting the state one, the one that everybody has to have, to field officers, so that we have an entire staff that's a little bit more knowledgeable than in the past.
Ms. Bluestone, were you able to train our community service officers, the now code enforcement? I know we talked about it last time. They're going to go out to the field next week. They complete their training. Were you able to go out there?
Not in their, no, not in
Do you
the.
think you can have somebody
no problem.
before Friday?
Yes, absolutely we can, yes.
And the reason I'm saying so, the police department recently took over code enforcement. Not only did we take over code enforcement, we augmented it. These officers are going to be code enforcement and then some. They're going to be tasked with doing pretty much any and all ordinance violations. So there'll be an extension of police officers, there'll be an extension of code enforcement officers and that. They can be an extension of animal care services. So with proper training, they identify a violation, they can act on it, no longer they need to call an officer or animal care service officer. So that's 20 more bodies, eyes, and ears that are out there enforcing these laws.
Good to know.
And they stole our supervisor, so.
Oh, that's the opening.
Oh, that's right. Oh, but don't worry, we'll train ourselves.
Yeah, that's why we don't have a supervisor right now, thanks.
Jesus, right?
No, good for him, good for him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's why I'm minus a supervisor and,
That's right. Okay.
yeah.
We'll take care of it.
No, this is,
So we can also keep in mind for the task force if anything that.
Yes.
anyway, we call, we have our book to handle, right? We show, hey, here's,
We bring the
So-
book.
yeah, we take the book.
Good. So one of the mechanisms that we're using, 311, is a good platform to complain, for us to track and have a disposition on it. That's what they're going to be using. So you have a lot of these complaints. Feel free to use that 311. You can attach pictures, narratives, you name it, recordings.
301?
311. It's an online platform. Of course, you can call, right?
Uh-huh.
But 311 is also a platform on the
So
internet
who better
where you
to
can.
send the picture to have the proof?
Right, so it's always
Oh,
helpful.
good to know.
So we look at that, the supervisor, that issue, like anything else, it's a task.
So I
that's
do
gonna be
301 text?
issued.
or
If you
how?
go on the city website, you can log in.
Oh, okay.
If not, you can do it on the phone if you're not too tech savvy. But you can search for Laredo 311, and it goes through a method there, so you can do complain virtually, pretty much.
Because I do a lot of 301 calls.
Yeah, 311 online services, so.
And you just attach the pictures and it's like right there, the proof, like there's.
Right, so we're getting not only a narrative of the complaint, we're seeing a lot of the things they're able to identify, the dog or the house or.
Tied up,
individuals.
no water, no
Right.
food,
So
no shade.
they'll follow up on that. Now, it becomes a little bit too, sometimes they get tasked with it because it's already kind of very specialized, but we can also jump in on it. But somebody that just ensures somebody's gonna get it assigned and there's a follow-up and disposition, there's accountability to it.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to letter D, review of how the city handles overcrowding in the shelter. Who placed letter B today?
How many was I
Did you
supposed to
select?
send?
I
They
don't
told me,
remember.
I probably booked mine too. I sent it like 3
That's
months
fine.
ago.
That's
Which
fine.
this
I think so.
Go ahead, notes.
But I think with everything that we've been talking, I guess we've been discussing a little bit about it. Right, I think. Overcrowding, how do you guys handle it? Because right now, if it's too crowded, you just do not pick dogs up anymore?
No, that's not a,
Okay.
no. I mean, overcrowding, we make difficult decisions. I mean,
Hardest part.
we don't
Mhm.
not pick up animals because the shelter is full. I know there's a lot of shelters out there, around the country who follow that model. We do not. So that's not something that we do.
Are we still placed, because I know there was a goal for us to be a no-kill shelter. Are we not even close, right?
So that is a very controversial thing for no kill right now. I am not one that will probably comment on no kill. I think that in my perspective, a city does the best that it can within the resources that it has. Ultimate goal is absolutely, do we want to strengthen our programs, whether that be adoption, rescue, all of that, to have live outcomes, hands down, 100%. And each different city has different resources. You want to go to a city who, per taxpayer pays $26 that goes directly to animal services, they can do a lot more support within the community and potentially reach that 90% no kill. Is that something that right now, like, no, we are going to do our best to optimize the live outcomes that we can. We're not gonna do it at the detriment of public safety, and we're not gonna do it at the detriment of humane housing. So that is absolutely not. I do not fall into a category that agrees with that.
If we go to the no-kill, like, the way is basically start promoting and finding ways how to do the space so we can.
Here's the thing. While again, I'm not for or I'm not against, but if you are wanting to do a no kill, you have to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, because it was proposed, I guess, a few years ago about it.
And again, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars, or basically we're gonna promote a failure. So in certain cities where the population isn't quite what it is here, if you go further up north, is it obtainable? Sure, but they also have the resources, less of the population, and they have cyclical cycles, right? Because the breeding season, you have a winter that just knocks out. Here we don't have that really. I mean, Laredo claims to have a winter, and it's not a real winter. But we have constant breeding all year round, right? We have regulations that aren't on any of our borders, right? You go further up north, that's not the case. So there are certain cities that potentially can achieve that in a very humane way, maybe eventually. But do I see that in the very near future? No.
Like in Laredo, everybody, every day you see the owner surrender.
I don't-
Can't control that.
I don't want to give up on Laredo to have eventually the best live outcome that we have just because we're in the geographical area that we're in. So what I can say is we will do the best we can for program improvement to make sure that we have the highest outcomes. Again, I'm not jeopardizing public safety and I'm not jeopardizing the humane housing of the animals at the shelter. So if we do have to make difficult decisions, we have to make difficult decisions. Right now, they are primarily based on medical and behavioral. So right now, that's still a big portion of the euthanasias. Not necessarily space.
All right, we're gonna move to letter E. Discussion of the next steps regarding the surrender rescued dogs from Freedom Ranch.
That was me.
There's no
Well,
left.
they already,
Yeah, there's
left.
no left. Yep.
All right. Letter F. Review of tagging and procedures of rescue dogs, including clarification on instances where no rescue name is assigned.
That was me.
Okay.
We did talk about it last time. Do you want me to say, most of it's happening on the digital platform now? So
I
there's-
saw you have an application for rescues to tag from there.
Yes, yeah, and it goes through the A number, and the minute that goes in, the tag is in place. Because again, we're also minimizing the, oh no, I sent this email first, oh no, it came in 2
That would
seconds
be the
later.
problem.
Like, yeah,
For
that's why
years.
I was like, we're not following into that category, the staff, and I know rescues are way too busy to sit here and argue about when the email came through. So at the end of the day, like, this is what we got going.
All right. We're gonna move on to, letter G, discussion of whether the Laredo Animal Care Services Facebook page is considered public and accessible to all citizens, and under what circumstances individuals may be banned or restricted from interacting with the page.
That's
I
me.
know some see that with this.
I'm still blocked.
I think that from my understanding, legal reached out, like those are questions that they need to answer.
I already sent them that email.
Okay, I mean, I can follow up to see
Because
if
that
they-
is stopping me from helping the dogs.
Again, I can check to see where their discussion is, but I know between legal and the main PIOs, like they have those answers. I don't control it, so I'm not knowledgeable, so I don't wanna speak without knowing.
Who's got the case in legal, do you know?
Probably.
Bobby? Oh,
Okay.
I'll see what, I'll also see what that is. We're gonna move forward to letter, do we have anything for PD? Cause I don't wanna hold the officers here, and I guess from H through J, there's nothing, right? No?
Who's already answered our
Yeah, okay,
questions.
thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We keep in touch.
Yeah. You all stay safe.
Excuse us.
That's the one that called.
Okay, moving on to letter H, review ordinances discussed at last meeting, which were those who placed item H? Ms. Bender?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
So motion to table?
I can't motion.
What is that? Eight?
Table is when she's here, we can.
Oh, okay.
Those in favor? Against? Motion passes to table, letter H.
H to J was Vendor.
Okay, so I guess, we would like her input on these items. So we're gonna motion to table actually amended motion H through,
Can I have my input on the J? Maybe I can help out
Yes.
with this one?
yes.
Okay, this is something I had kind of mentioned with you before, because I was reading Educate the Community on Responsible Pet Ownership, which is a big issue. What if I have, the school districts, and I noticed the city even did one about the anti-bullying, why can't we do something similar to that and for different levels? One elementary, one middle school, and one high school and college level, so they can do the work and promote it at the same time. You know, and maybe we can get county and city to kind of fund it, the prices somehow. And at the same time, it's a funding for educational purposes.
I mean, I'm not opposed.
Yeah, neither.
And that really targets a lot, because that's the biggest, and I've heard it in the meetings, the mayor has brought it up, and I know the biggest issue is, they're not, but what if we, and I bring it up because I teach my students, and they're excited, like, what, I'm trying to bring this idea, they're like,
Where would this initiate, Ms. Bristol? PIO?
Deidre, what's up, buddy?
oh, sorry. I brought some kind of ideas of the city, but and then I saw the city the anti, so they come up with, and then they can come up with an idea of what they want, and they normally do the anti-gang or anti-bullying for middle school and high school, but we want to educate them since little. So what if we draft something for each different group, and they can have prizes, and then we start educating the community, and hopefully we can see a better outcome about.
So I think that we could probably work on the actual campaign itself, what we would need, because I also understand sometimes the curriculum is very strict.
Mhm.
Is the individuals for contacts for the districts that would enable us to be part of that within the school districts and have like the participation like they get with anti-bullying and that they get with the no drugs and the red ribbon weeks that happen and all that stuff. I think if we have those connections, like we could probably do the campaign itself and that won't be an issue and have you guys' input on stuff like that. But I think it's the connection of how can we get into each level,
Okay.
like contact wise.
If I can see if I can find someone in our school district,
Okay.
and maybe I can get LC, because I work for both basically.
Okay.
And I can try to get, the only thing I was worried is about, I'm already helping those, I just do not know TAMU, but that would be, it would
We
be
could probably
nice.
get a good in with TAMU too.
Yeah.
And then you guys can
Has-
drop off different levels and requirement based on it, and
Yeah.
you can get one base, and those would be actually students creating, if it's a PSA, if it's a poster, so, and they're educating, and it's, the kids themselves teach it, and the parents hopefully.
Yeah, we can also get with Noraiga also and
Yeah,
add,
yeah, of course, yeah, we can get the city PIO. This would be for like a collaboration of maybe like anti-bullying and educating them on responsible pet ownership
Yes.
or
I think
anti-cruelty.
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 Yeah, sometimes, what I do with my, it was up to you, the topics you want to, but when I do my students, and if you've seen some of the projects they did, I do, responsible pet owner, anti-cruelty, and spay and neutering.
Okay.
So these are the 3 topics I usually use it on with my students, and they actually do the research, figure out what, they've done trifles, they've done PSAs, and it's a fun one. They're very good, sometimes better than me.
They're doing, also
Yeah.
open records,
Okay.
right?
I think
Yeah.
that also getting, cause you're high school,
I see.
yeah.
High school. We have we have an ACO and another member also right now at a high school doing career day, doing a presentation.
I
exactly
think
on
they
that.
contact me because I already know that someone from, I guess, a teacher that's working with you guys, they had asked, but I've been super busy that they
Okay.
want,
Is it Olga Chavarria?
I think she says she's a teacher, but
Yeah.
she's working with you guys about like helping. So I'm gonna try to get her to talk to all the ones that are marked over there,
Okay,
maybe invite to
okay.
everyone. So that could also be, so this
Cause
would be.
I'm still working with also other teachers to try to get into
The school
districts
districts,
as
but
well.
I know that some of the, I can see if I can figure out how to, because when we started, we made it all the, Mr. Gonzalez introduced our club over there, and some of the school districts were there, and they kind of know already, and they're really passionate about how the students are being part of the solution, but they would probably be okay with the whole thing.
No, I'm good, I just need the,
That, yeah, like
Yeah,
something that
okay.
we can work together, and it's just go hand in hand.
Yeah.
sounds great.
absolutely.
I'm still gonna move to table so we can have Ms.
Vendors.
Ms. Bender's also input as well, and hopefully we will bring back at the next meeting, where we're at with this. But, it's gonna for sure take a collaboration. All right? Okay, we're gonna move, for motion to adjourn. Second, 4, against to adjourn? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.